Right, hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Amanda and today we are here with a awesome sketchbook tour. This is my Stillman and Birn sketchbook. It's the bigger size. I can't remember exactly what the size is. All the information is gone. I can't remember. I didn't keep this little thing that you get with them, but it's not this book in particular. I think it's 8 by 8 or 8.5 by 8.5, not sure. Oh no, it's not, sorry, it's not even square. What am I on about? Whatever, don't listen to me. Anyway, it's the Delta series, I believe, or it could be the Beta. Oh my god, it's Beta. This is the Beta series sketchbook and it has all of my stickers on it. Well, not all of them, but a fair few amount. I don't do stickers anymore, but I do plan on bringing these back at some point. These are not available. They're old designs. I don't do digital artwork anymore, so it's kind of hard for me to make stickers now. Anyway, so here we go. I started this in August 2024, so that was about 9 months ago-ish, maybe more than that. No, it's about 9 months ago. So yes, I actually have a cool video of me painting these mushrooms if you want to go and see that. I decided that I was going to start using this sketchbook for loads of different things that I wanted to practice outside of my comfort zone, so not landscapes and sweet treats and stuff like food. But it turns out that I just cannot stay away from landscapes for too long, and I ended up painting some landscapes. So this is gouache. These are gouache as well. But these are gouache, and I really wanted to start painting flowers because I do like the look of these paintings and I do like adding flowers to my landscapes, but I'm really bad at it and I don't enjoy it. But I really enjoy doing these, especially these two. I think that this needs more depth. I need to make it darker, like definitely darker shapes like these. But it's really hard for me with gouache because obviously it dries a lot lighter than you put it down. So I had to put down darker elements afterwards, which kind of makes the depth of the painting a little bit weird. So anyway, definitely want to practice doing that with gouache. To be honest, if there wasn't such a huge shift with gouache, I think that gouache would be my absolute go-to forever medium. But because there's such a huge shift, I still am not sold yet, even though I've decided long ago that that would be my go-to ultimate medium, but we're still getting there. Anyway, painted these with some expensive gouache paints and I was really frustrated with it. I don't know if you can see, but they're super shiny and really bad quality paintings, and I just gave up on it because I just could not get it to work. So I think that's Daniel Smith, I'm not sure. And then I decided to go and do some fruit. I repainted this as an oil painting and I was so proud of it. It's so funny. And I was proud of it here too, but I'm even more proud of it. I started doing these again, and I think this is with better gouache or humi gouache or something. Really like this, how it's not particularly blended. I tried it here as well, but I wasn't very successful with the saturation, hues and the brightness and contrast because I didn't want these colours to be so bright. I wanted them to kind of blend in to the red a little bit more, but now it just looks like they're on top of the red rather than in the red, if you get what I mean. I did this twice because I tried to copy the landscape too much, so I used a reference picture from Unsplash and it was quite misty, so I decided to wet the brush and just skimmy it over and see if I could make the flowers go into the distance, but it turns out that that's not exactly the best way to do it. So I think that getting lighter and less detailed, more distorted as you go back is better. Obviously I would like the transition to be a little bit smoother, so rather than having these all red, I should have added the colour to the colour of the sky to these to kind of make the transition a little bit more gradient-ful. I'm really bad at talking, wow. But lessons learned, so yeah. Then I discovered this challenge on Instagram. I had known about it before, but I hadn't really dove into it at all. But there's this painter that I really like, and I can't remember her name because her Instagram name's weird and I never look at names, I always look at pictures. But anyway, you probably know who I'm talking about. She does really cool painting videos on Instagram, and she paints oil paints and digital paints. Really cool food. Anyway, it's the food painting challenge, and a couple of these references are from there, but I was just like practicing in my sketchbook because I didn't want to enter it and fail, so I wanted to practice before I entered it. But I really like this style of painting in this particular way that I've conveyed these kiwis, but I don't know how to put that type of painting into other things, so I need to practice that. Again, I really like this kind of painting, how the background's creeping into the actual thing, and there's different colours and variations in it. Obviously it's not as apparent as the way that the artist that I'm talking about does it, but it's very fun to play with. Same with these Jolly Ranchers and stuff. I do like to stick to the actual reference photo quite a bit. I think I need to learn more about colour theory and the use of colour and how to pick my own colour palettes, because I end up trying to get it too close to reality and then I can't really add in my own pops of colour because it just does not go with the amount of colours that I've used in the past. I don't know if that makes sense, probably not, but hey ho. This is a fun page. I decided to do some tomatoes, and again they are quite close to the reference pictures in colour, but I'm trying to just add in various or varieties of the paint colour. I like these because they are like the strawberries, but then I've put some scruffy pink and blues into it, even though it makes no sense. I really like adding pink for highlights and blues for shadows. Obviously these blues are brighter than the shadows of the strawberries, so I don't know how that works. I don't know how to make that better or if it's fine the way it is. No, lots of experimentation. Now we get into autumn basically, and this is a couple of paintings that I did. Most of them are based on Pinterest photos, I think, until we get to a certain stage, and I'll tell you when that happens, when I start to use my own references. But yes, I really like this. I just like using little dots and little dashes and little strokes to convey things. Same with this. This is a little bit too bushy for me, like not perfectly round shapes. Like these shapes are different from these shapes. I think it kind of looks like the same person made these but also a different person made them. I don't know. I just don't like the shapes as much. I think it needs a lot more depth, it needs a lot more definition. And this car, I mean the car is actually quite well done, but it just looks like it's floating on the road. It doesn't look like it's actually driving, but whatever. I really had fun with these colours. I'm really trying to not follow the reference too much, because these greens are not in the reference photo. It's actually more of a yellowy green colour, but I thought that the contrast would look nice with this particular painting, and I think I was right. Again, more contrast needed. I just need more contrast. I need to punch in the contrast with these paintings, and this was really hard. I was trying to make it look like it had been raining and this road was slightly flooded, but it was really difficult to get that across, and I don't think I did it very well. I think again I need more darks. I really struggle getting darks. I need darkness down here and I need darkness in the road as well, so I really need to work on making my paintings a lot darker, but I don't know how to do that with gouache because again the colour shift. I've even used the darkest of dark paints before and it's been too light, so again I don't know how to do that with gouache. And I would switch to oils because I really like oils, but I can't do oil work fast in my sketchbook, so if you have any solution for that, I think maybe acrylic might be the way to go, but it doesn't have the same qualities as gouache. I think that oil paint is actually closer to gouache than what acrylic is, even though people say that it's a mixture of a acrylic and a watercolour paint. I don't know. Although watercolour would be easy to get the depth, but I would have to switch my brain around again and paint from light to dark instead of dark to light. Anyway, moving on. Again, I like all these little dots that I put in here. I got the contrast down a lot better in these shadowy bits here. Again, I'm really struggling with the perspective of the road. Like it looks like the road goes up rather than receding into the back. And I think again it's just I need to make it darker. Like, I just need to make it darker, but it's so hard to make things darker. And again, I'm trying to put in a little bit more of a different variety of colours here so that I can make it a little bit more illustrative rather than trying to get the real look. Because when I look at the world around me, I don't see these colours in the distance. You know, when people say, oh, it starts to get really blue and hazy the further back you go, I don't see that. I see the greens, so I put in the greens, but it doesn't mean that I can't make it up. I'm an artist, I can do what I want to do. This is a mess. I do like it because I had fun with the mark making, but again, it's just not a very decent painting. And I think, again, I keep saying it, but it's the depth and the colour, not the colour, but the darkness variation. This whole bit here should be darker because it's actually receding into here rather than just lying on top of it, and it looks like it's lying on top of it. Also, all of this in the background should be a little bit darker because it's receding into the back rather than at the front. This I did well with because it does look like it's actually going backwards, but it just, I don't know, I'm really struggling with gouache at the minute with the whole light and dark situation. Again, with another landscape, autumny landscape. This is crazy to look at because this reminds me of a horrible time in my life, because this is just before everything happened. If you follow me on other social medias, you'll know what happened, but I'll go into it in a minute. So yeah, this is just a quick painting. I didn't really enjoy it very much and I stopped halfway through. And then I was going to participate in Stilltober, that Very Berry Draws runs for October, obviously, because I wanted to do an October challenge this year, or last year, sorry, because I really want to participate in things that will boost my painting skills. And I wasn't really happy with this drawing at all. And then I did this, which was alright, it was fine. And then I decided I wanted to learn how to paint snow, so I started with this, and then I did this, and let me tell you, snow is really hard. But as you can see, it goes from the 4th of October to the 22nd of October, and then it starts in November again. And this is because my partner in crime, Matthew, went into hospital between the 4th of October and November. And he got meningitis and he nearly died, unfortunately. There was a 1% chance of him actually surviving. He grew abscesses in his brain and there was a fluid build up and he had to have brain surgery, and there was a whole thing. So this is why I haven't painted in this sketchbook. And to be honest, I'm quite surprised that I have painted anywhere near as much as I did in that space of time, because I was very, very heavily pregnant and busy at the time. But obviously I think this kind of was an outlet for me a little bit to let go of all of the feelings and thoughts that I had. So 22nd of October I did this, and as you can see, it's not very good, to be honest. Then I recorded this as a video. I don't know if anybody wants to see it. I haven't, actually I don't think I can, sorry. Oh, maybe I can. I think I deleted the footage, but I might still have it somewhere. If I do have the footage, does anybody want to see this? This is basically me reviewing the metallic colours. Obviously you can see I barely use them, but yeah, I painted this on camera, but I didn't like the outcome of the actual painting itself, and I don't like the way it looks now, so I decided to scrap the video. And then I did this. I didn't record this, obviously. Again, just trying to survive with looking after an 11-year-old and my sick partner and then being pregnant. So yes, but I really enjoyed doing this. It's up on Instagram, and this is a picture that I took myself, actually. It was up in the woods behind my mum and dad's house, and these are Pinterest photos, I think. But yeah, I really enjoyed using my own photo, so I decided to do more of that going forward. I'm not going to turn it because I don't actually like this, but I was trying to play with different colours that didn't exist in the painting or in the photos. But I continued on over to do it here. I think this may be a Pinterest photo or an Unsplash photo, but this is definitely a photo that I took myself in B. Craigs in a country park. And I don't know why I did this, but I outlined this with ink pen. No idea why. I think I just could not differentiate it with paint, so I did it with ink instead. These are from the Freelocks Forest Drive. This one is my favourite painting ever. I love it. Obviously it's quite a mess because I was using pastel with this, and I quite enjoy pastel, but even if you spray it, it gets a mess. But I took this on a very weird windy day. Usually me and my dad go on day trips in perfect weather, so it was a really horrible, miserable day. This place was actually shut. It wasn't properly open. You could still drive around it, but it was like not in season basically. And this was also there as well. But the atmosphere was just brilliant, and I think that I captured it very well. I think it was a lot more red in tone, but I didn't capture that here. But yeah, it was really fun to experiment with this and actually use my own photos as reference as well. I'm just gonna hide this little blurb because I don't want you to see it, but this is my painting of a place. So yeah, we took a wrong turn somewhere and we ended up at this place, and it's Carron Valley according to my dad. He's usually right, so it's Carron Valley, and I painted it because it was such a cool, vast looking landscape, and I was excited to kind of use a very complicated reference photo. And also I've been dying to paint sheep. I drive past sheep, or I used to before I moved. I drive past sheep every single day when I was taking Kid into school, so I really had the urge to paint all those sheep, and I just didn't have any reference photos of sheep. And then when you look at reference photos of sheep, they're kind of like not the kind of sheep or not the kind of reference photos that I was looking for. So I was really happy to paint sheep, but obviously I don't know how to paint sheep's faces, so I just put black blobs. In fact, this sheep isn't even a black faced sheep, but I had struggles with it. I actually drew it up here because he was facing us, so I drew the face up here and I was going to paint it up here, but then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to pretend that the sheep are all, you know, facing down and eating the grass. This is from B. Craig's Loch. There was a little duck, I don't know why I said it that way, but there was, and I painted it. 3 Forest Locks Drive again, with these 3. And again, I am having lots of fun using my own reference photos, but I am again struggling with using my own colours and making the painting look more interesting than the photo, because photos are, and I've noticed this really recently, I've known this for a long time, but I've actually seen it and noticed it. When you take a picture, it flattens the landscape. So I took a picture in Polkemmet Country Park the other day, and I was really excited to paint it, but then when I looked at the reference photo, I was like, this photo does not look anything like what I've seen in real life. So I'm kind of upset by that because I really want to paint that place. It means I would have to do it plein air, but I see now why people would prefer to do plein air than paint from photos. It does help, and like I've basically learned my whole painting skills from painting from photos. It's difficult. I don't know. Anyway, this is also Freelocks Forest Drive, and this is the same sort of landscape, just different ways of painting it, different colours. I was trying again to use the whole receding colour thing and changing up the colours, because if you see this reference photo, I'll maybe try and pop it on the screen, but I'll probably not, because we know what I'm like, but it basically is all of this tone of green in real life. So I was trying to adjust the colours slightly, make them darker in the background to make it more readable as a painting. Again, it does look a little bit messy and just bunchy, but I was trying my hardest. You know, it's really hard. I really like the way that this painting came out. I find it really hard to do fine details. That's why I've always been on the hunt for tiny little brushes, and I buy an abundance of them and it just fails. Also really like this painting. It actually has a lot of soft pastel in it, and I think that soft pastel really does help me get the contrast. So all of this is done with soft pastel, all of the black, and all of the trees. I did a base coat basically of the underpainting, and then I went over with the soft pastel to do all the details. And honestly, I really like this way of working, and it's really cool, but it is really messy. And I do enjoy gouache, but I think that I like the look of the soft pastel better, but it does get grimy really quick. But I guess it's because this is in a sketchbook and it's rubbing together. Just little sketches of things that I was practicing. Nothing really special there, but we're on to December now, where I was trying to do a lot more snowy scenes or tropical. Unsure if these are photos of mine. I would have probably labelled them if they were. So I don't think they are. These aren't either. This is on Instagram if you want to go and see it. I'm not going to turn the sketchbook because we are pretty much into the swatches now. And again, I haven't finished this sketchbook, but I want to kind of lay it aside because it's stopping me from doing other projects, and I'm excited to make loads of videos about other projects, so I want to kind of put this one to the side so that I can start on those projects. But these are swatches and these are really exciting, so stay tuned. We have some Holbein, I believe. These are, this is Winsor Newton gouache paint. I never label anything. And then these are brushes that I was trying out. I was trying to lessen the amount of brushes that I have because I have a lot of brushes that do the same thing. Then we have Winsor Newton gouache here, and this is, oh, these are just mixes. Artful watercolours, Hemi Gouache metallics. Glad I did a couple of labels here. And then these are Winsor Newton Daniel Smith watercolours. Daniel Smith gouache, as you can see, very streaky. But I think it's literally this sketchbook. I was doing some maths down here, don't know why. I was trying to find the perfect purple because I like a purple. And then these are just some other swatches I don't have. That's an appointment that I had. I don't really know what appointment it was, but there we go. It was at 9:30 on January the 7th. Literally think it was a dentist. But that is my Stillman and Birn sketchbook. As for this paper and how I like the sketchbook itself, I'm not sure about it. I really do enjoy some of the paintings that I've done in here, and I enjoyed working in it, but it's not a watercolour sketchbook. I would not recommend painting watercolours in this sketchbook. I would just recommend doing gouache. It's really good for pencil and stuff. I haven't done much pencil work, but when I was drawing in it with my pencil underneath things, it worked really well. It is a great mixed media sketchbook, and as you can see, it lays really flat and it doesn't buckle that much either, so it is a really good sketchbook. I do enjoy it, but I don't think that I will be buying the Stillman and Birn sketchbooks again because I do want better quality paper. I want to go to maybe cotton paper, and I think I might just buy my own cotton sheets and make my own sketchbooks that way, because I think that it's going to be hard to get cheaper 100% cotton paper in a sketchbook. So yes, I am happy with this sketchbook. It took me a while to fill it. I think that, hold on, yeah, these were like done in December, so it only took me 6 months to fill it to where it is now, and that's good for me because I've slowed down on the sketchbook filling. I usually take much longer than that now. I used to fill up sketchbooks like they were my best friends, but now I don't do that. But anyway, that's my sketchbook. If you have any questions or any comments about it, then please do put them in the comments below. It actually really helps my videos if you comment on it. It doesn't have to be a big massive comment, but it would be nice if you would interact with me. I like to get to know you as well. Tell me what kind of sketchbooks you've used in the past, and if you've used this one and if you like it or not, and what kind of mediums you use in your sketchbooks. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks. Bye.